वृंदाविक गिरिधारी शिष्य राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट महाभगवत श्रील गोरक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट महाभगवत श्रील गोरक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट श्रील सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्रील जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु गौड़ीय गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल कोरमंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट विरक्त गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी बिंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माय की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय श्री शिल सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। जय श्री भजन रहस्य की जय। जय श्री श्री चैतन्य शिक्षाष्टक की जय। श्री सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। श्रीसिद्धान्त सरस्वती विदितो गौड़ीय गुर्वन्वये भातो भानुरिव प्रभात गगने योगोरसङ्कीर्तनाय मायावारतिमिङ्गिलो दरगतान् उद्धृत्य जीवनिमान् कृष्णप्रेमसुधाब्धिगाहन सुखां प्रदत्प्रभुं तं भजे। वन्दे भक्तिविनोदंषि गौरशक्तिस्वरूपकं भक्तिशास्त्रज्ञसम्राजां राधारससुधानिधिं नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। वृषभानुसुतान्वितवामतनुं यमुनातटनागरनन्दसुतं मुरलीकलगीतविनोदपरं भज गोद्रुमकाननकुञ्जविदुं स्मर गौरगदाधरकेलिकलं भवगौरगदाधर पक्षच्छर शृणुगौरगदाधर चारुकथं भज गोद्रुमकानन कुञ्जविदुम् तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय देवी त्वां नायमां चरणन्तिकम् भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताश्चकामादितराङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे श्रीस्वरूपराय सङ्ग हर्षशेषघोषणं शिक्षणाष्टकाख्य कृष्णकीर्तनैकपोषणं प्रेम नाममात्र विश्वजीवनैकसम्भरं प्रेमधाम देवमेव नौमि गौरसुन्दरं प्रेमोर्भावितहर्षैर्योद्वेगदैन्यार्तिमिश्रितम् लपितं गौरचन्द्रस्य भाग्यवार्भिर्निषेव्यते प्रभुर्शिक्षाष्टकश्लोक जय पोरे शुने कृष्णे प्रेम भक्ति तार बाड़े दीने दीने शिक्षाष्टक चिंत करो स्मरण कीर्तन क्रमे अष्टकाल सेवा हबे उद्दीपान सकल अनर्थ जावे पावे प्रेम धन चतुर्वर्ग फल्गु प्राय हबे अदर्शन. Whoever reads or hears the Lord Shikshashtak verses will find their prem bhakti to Krishna growing more and more each day. Therefore, contemplate the Shikshashtak and engage in smaran and kirtan. Gradually, service throughout the 8 divisions of the day will be awakened. All anarthas will disappear, and you will attain the treasure of prem dhan. The 4 aims of worldly life, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, will appear trivial and fade from view. Okay, so let's recite the Shikshashtak, and then we will begin our program. Let me just find it first. Let's see. Cheto darpanamarjanam pavamaha tavagni nirvapanam Shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam Vidyavadu jivanam Anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam Purnamrita svadanam Sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudha Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishamiha Janina Nuraga Trinarapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sada Hari Na dhanam na janam na sundarim Kavitam va jagarisha maye Mama janmani janmanishware Bhavatar bhaktir ahaituki tvai Ainandatanu jakinkaram Patitang mam vishame bhavam buddho Kripaya tava para pankaja Stita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya Nayanam galarashudharaya Vadanam gadgadarudaya gira Pulakar nichitam vapu kada tava nama grahane bhavishyati. Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravrshaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. Ashlishavapararatang pinashtumam adarshanan marmahatam kurotu va yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato mat prananatastu sa eva na para. Okay, so let's begin. Let's see who's joined. Dandavat pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Brian, Sarveshwari Mataji, and on YouTube and Facebook, I see Ganga Mataji, and I don't know who else is there. If you write a comment, I'll see your name. Dandavat pranams to Shachi Devi and Jayadev Prabhu, Revati Didi, Haribu. All right, so we're off to a bit of a late start today. Sorry about that. We've now completed going through all the verses that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave that illuminate the 7 excellent results of chanting Krishna Nam Sankirtan. Haribo Rohini Nandan Prabhu Dandavat Pranams. So now we are going to go through the rest. But maybe since it's been a while since we've done a review, let's just, I just want to go through the topics that are, I want to go through the topics really quickly in 1 second. Okay. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so in this first Pratam Yam Sadhan, the sadhan for the first yama of the day, first division of the day. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur starts this chapter with Pranam to Sri Gaurangadev, who's the deliverer of Kali Yuga. And in these pranam mantras, in both of these, it's highlighting how Mahaprabhu, like the first one, is how Mahaprabhu is worshipped in this age of Kali through Nam Kirtan. Yajanti hi sumedasa. And then the next verse by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, it's Mahaprabhu's instructions to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas to chant a fixed number of rounds every day. And so then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives a few verses which describe the unparalleled glories of the holy name. In the first of these verses, it says that in Sati Yuga, everything that you obtain in in Sati Yuga, the practice of that, like the practice for that age is meditation. And everything that you get in practicing Sati Yuga and through meditation, you get that in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the names of Govinda, Govinda Kirtan. And in the second verse, he says how Nam Kirtan destroys more more sin than the most sinful person can commit. And then he gives a verse explaining how Kirtan is superior to Smaran, which is very difficult to control the mind and focus it on remembering Krishna. But with Kirtan, you just move your lips and then it's performed. It's as easy as that. It's as easy as moving your lips. And then in his Bengali verses, he explains how Smaran and Kirtan are far superior to Archan. And he quotes this verse from, which is quoted in Hari Bhakti Vilas, which says that after performing Archan to Vasudev for 100 births, then one might have the chance to chant Harinam. That's how far superior it is to Archan. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives a bunch of verses explaining the development from Shraddha to Prem. First he explains these Bengali verses about the 16 pairs of names in the Mahamantra and how they relate to the gradual cessation of anarthas, and to the degree that our anarthas are removed, to that degree we make progress from Shraddha to Sadhusanga Bhajana Kriya Anartha Nivritti Nishta Ruchi Asakti Bhav Prem. And so after he goes through that, explaining the cessation of anarthas, the groups of mahamantras, and like the groups of names, and yeah, then he says, like, you might reach all the way up, even to getting to bhav, but at any point you might fall down if you fall into bad association. No. He explains that later. Sorry. First, he gives the Maha Mantra, the pairs of names of Maha Mantra, relates it to the cessation of anarthas and the rising, like, the different stages. And then he gives a verse by Rupa Goswami, Adau Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha Tato Bhajana Kriya, that goes through that sequence. And then he explains that um, that you might reach all the way up to the stage of bhav, asakti, bhav, but then at any point, if you fall into bad association, then this desire for pratishta will become very strong. It will take birth in you, and you'll become duplicitous, and from wherever stage you're at, you'll fall down. And um, therefore, you must give up bad association. It's imperative at any stage. You must give up bad association. Otherwise, you'll. And he gives a couple verses, really very strong verses. Saying that it's better to be burned by fire or imprisoned in a cage or embrace a snake or a tiger or an alligator than to fall into bad association. And then he gives this beautiful verse, which we memorized one day, about the power of namabhas. Okay, so he's now explains the Mahamantra, the sequence, and the progression of reaching all the way up to bhav and then prem. But then we have to be careful, because if at any point, if we fall into bad association, then we can fall from where we've reached, and then who knows how many lifetimes it will take until we come back to the path of bhakti again. So we have to be very careful. And now let's start from the beginning. We're starting from before Shraddha, or at the stage of Shraddha, when we're just beginning to chant. Our Nam is not pure yet. We're just chanting Namabhas. And so he gives this verse that Srila Rupa Goswami quotes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. I think it's from Padma Purana. And how does the verse go? We've been reciting it every day for a while. Tam nirvyajam bhajagunanantim pavanam pavananam. So in that verse, it explains how even just the dimmest glow of, like the dimmest dawning of the name will remove the greatest sins. That's just the abhas of Nam, of the son of the name. What to speak of the name itself, but just the abhas of Nam, the will remove all darkness of all, and the darkness means our sins that we've accumulated through countless lifetimes. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, these verses that we've been reciting every day. I didn't recite it today because it was late, but we've been reciting these every day. The method, the process, the methodology of Shikṣāṣṭakam. Shikṣāṣṭakam is actually like a manual for how to reach prem. And this is how you do it. First, you engage with the first verse for some days, and then in the second verse, you'll become proficient. Then through the first 4 verses of Shikṣāṣṭakam, you'll gradually bring your devotion to, you'll bring your bhajan to maturity. And in the 5th verse, Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkaram, you'll embrace your own spiritual body. That's the stage of ruchi. And then having begun to take shelter of Sri Radha's feet with that verse within your spiritual body, then advancement gradually arises. That's when you really start to make real progress in your bhajan. It's at that point of ruchi. It's when you move very quickly. And then by practicing according to the 6 verses, all anarthas will go far away. And then you'll know that the eligibility for your spiritual body has been achieved. That's the stage of asakti. Without attaining true eligibility, if one contemplates a spiritual body, a contrary or mistaken intelligence is born from a lack of spiritual strength. Therefore, carefully follow this progressive path if you desire spiritual perfection. By observing the character of saintly persons, make your consciousness pure, gain in pure intelligence, shuddha buddhi, not viparyat buddhi, shuddha buddhi. Then, having obtained the spiritual body and performing devotional practice in sequence, the joy of service throughout the 8 periods of the day, Ashtakala Seva, is effortlessly attained. Therefore, contemplate the Shikshashtaka, engage in Smaran and Kirtan, and then service throughout the 8 periods of the day will be awakened. All unwanted attachments will depart, and you will attain the treasure of Prem. And all the 4 goals of human life will seem very insignificant and completely disappear from sight. So that's this text 10. Then after that, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur goes through the verses illuminating the 7 excellent results of Shikshashtaka, which we've been going through for, I think, like 9 days now or something, or 8 days. And so I'm not gonna go over that again now. We will again at some point, but not today because we've already spent so much time with that. And now today we're going to be reading further glories of Harinam from Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka. He gives 2 verses from Krishna Nam Ashtak. And then Vedic evidences for Nam Tattva. It's 3 verses from the Rig Veda. And then Mahaprabhu's injunction and the efficacy of faithful chanting. So this is from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Mahaprabhu's instructions to all the devotees about chanting Harinam. And then some practical instructions for japa. Just some like about the external things, about how you do it, what using tulsi wood or like this, and just like the practical method of how you chant with your fingers and like that. And then also, so there's like the physical explanation of how you do it, but then also mentally. And that verse is very interesting. I'd like to try to go through that verse carefully and maybe even memorize the steps, because that would be it explains how you attain perfection through mantra. And there are a bunch of steps like focusing the mind and focusing the mind one pointedly on the mantra and making your mind pure. And I don't know, there's a bunch of steps like that. Monam, not engaging in any mundane talk. And these are all the things that you need to do if you want to gain perfection in chanting mantra. And that applies to Maha Mantra and also your Diksha mantras, your Gayatri mantras. And so my mind is very distracted when I chant japa or my anik. And so I really want to try to memorize that verse. Then he gives the esoteric meaning of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra from, I think it was Gopal Guru Goswami. Very deep, the meaning of each pair of names, so how it relates to the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And then there's some more verses about Nam Kirtan's supremacy. I forgot what they were though. So and then finally the pastime, the meditation for Nishanta Bhajan, the Kunja Bhanga Lila. And he goes through the pastime of that time period of the day, Nishanta Lila, where Radha and Krishna, they awaken all the animals, the parrots, and then finally Kakati awaken Radha and Krishna from their slumber, and that whole pastime. So let's start where we left off from Chaitanya Bhagavat. Okay, so did I say Chaitanya Bhagavat? I meant to say Bhajana-rahasya. Okay. Where is it? Okay. Yeah, and I thought it was interesting how Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, where is it? Okay. Yeah, so then with the last one, Sarvatma Snapanam, chanting the holy name completely cleanses the self. And in Srimad Bhagavatam states, Sankirtyamano Bhagavan Ananta Shrutanubhavo Vyasanam Hipungsa pravishya chittam vidunota shesham yatatamorko Brahm Ivativata. Okay, so when one engages in Sankirtan, when they glorify, um, yeah, they engage in Sankirtan of Bhagavan, the unlimited Bhagavan, yeah, the limitless Bhagavan, Ananta. Um, and oh God, I can't explain it right now. I have to, but yeah, having heard it and having some, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also uses the word sees. And so when they have, right, what does he say? What did he say sees? Thought I remember reading that before. Anyways, doesn't matter. Anyways, when one has, then Bhagavan Pravishya Chittami enters the heart, and Vyasana means all the anarthas, all the sins, all the unwanted things in the heart. He completely washes that away. Vidunoti means to cleanse, wash away. Ashesham, the endless heaps of vyasanam, of all the accumulated unwanted things that one's accumulated in countless lifetimes, washes it all away. Just like the sun destroys, the arka destroys darkness, arka tama, sun, darkness, and um like intense winds, ati vata, disperses all the clouds. Abra means clouds. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives these Bengali verses and says, Shrutta Anubhuta Jata Anartha Samyog Shri Krishna Kirtane Sab Hoito Viyog. So this is interesting because in this verse, it seems like this word Shruttanubhava refers to when you hear and gain an experience or perceive the Sankirtan of Bhagavan. And through that, Krishna enters in the heart. And Vidunoti, he cleanses it. And this is Sarvatma Snapanam, right? When cleansing the self. So this word Vidunoti is the key word here. But in the Bengali here, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur uses this Shrutta Anubhuta according to the Anarthas, like all Shrutta Anubhuta Jata Anartha Samyog, all the anarthas that we've samyog that we've accumulated, all through all that we've heard and what we've experienced, all those anarthas that have come through all that. Shri Krishna Kirtane Sab Hoito Viyog. All those are completely Viyog. Let me just look up the word Viyog. Oops. I have it in Devanagari, need Bengali. Vijog. Yeah, all of those are subtracted. They're all, yeah. I don't know how you translate. They're all destroyed. In the same way, Jairup, just like the Vayu, disperses the clouds, and Surya destroys darkness. Sun destroys darkness. Like that, Chitte Praveshiya, Krishna Kirtan enters the heart. Krishna enters the heart through Krishna Kirtan, and Dosh Ashesh Vinash, and he destroys the limitless, the unending doshas, sins, faults, all the bad things in our heart that we don't want. And then he brings it back full circle. We went through all the different, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. So now, after explaining Sarvatma Snapanam, completely cleansing oneself inside and out, then he says, so, having taken shelter of Krishna Nam, Chitta Darpana Marjan, our heart, the mirror of the heart is cleansed. And ati shigra labhe jiv Krishna premadan. And very quickly, the jiva obtains prem dan, the wealth of prem, of Krishna, Krishna prem. And so it seems like in the verse Cheto Darpana Marjanam, there's a connection between Cheto Darpana Marjanam and then the very last one, Sarvatma Snapanam. And what I was thinking is Cheta Darpana Marjanam is, you're now just starting to cleanse the dust from the mirror of the heart. It's like beginning the process. But then at the very end, after all the 7 excellent results, then finally Sarvatma Snapanam. And that means it's fully like now after you've finished cleaning the mirror, now you're just fully immersed, completely cleansed inside and out. And there's no more, not even a speck of dust. You're now finally established in your Swarup, and you wash away everything. You wash away your material body, your subtle and physical body, and that's all saratma snapanam. It's all washed away, and now you're situated not just in your surup internally, but you've reached the stage of, because that last part, saratma snapanam, is the stage of prem, when you've attained vastu siddhi. So you've washed away your physical and mental body, and now you've taken birth in Krishna's pastimes. You're engaged in the lila there. That's vastu siddhi, stage of prem. And so they all kind of relate together. That's why I think Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur went back to Chaitya Darpana Marjanam. He shows, like, I don't know. That was just my speculation. And now finally, we move to these 2 verses from what is it? From Srila Rupa Goswami's Krishna Namashtaka. It says, the holy name of Sri Krishna himself and the sweet embodiment of transcendental mellows. Sorry, the holy name is Shri Krishna himself and the sweet embodiment of transcendental mellows. He's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, of pure conscious ras. He's the very embodiment of that. So in Shri Krishna Namashtaka, verse 8, it is stated, Naradvino jivana sudhormi niryasa madhuri pura Tam Krishna Nama Kamam Spurame Rasane Rasena Sada. O life of Narad's Vina, Narad Vino Jivana. And so what is that song that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes? What is it? Narad Muni Bhajai Vina Radhika Ramana Name. So the Krishna Nam is making, like, what is Narad Muni's Vina singing? The names of Radhika Raman. So even the Veena is singing Krishna Nam, Radha Krishna Nam. And so it's the very life of Narad's Veena. And Sudhormi Niryasa Madhuri Pura. So Sudha means nectar, Urmi means waves, right? And Niryasa means nectar. Oh, there's 2 words for Niryas. Niryas is like the essence, isn't it? Madhuri Pura. Let's actually look at that song. As always, I didn't look at this beforehand. So yeah, you hear me say this almost every program, that this is my live study session. I'm not, occasionally I'll look at it beforehand, but most of the time I don't. I'm just trying to figure it out on the spot. Here, I think this is it. Let's see. Oh, these are all very old files. Huh. Okay, wait, I know where to find it. This is in the songbook. We are going to include all the Krishna Namashtaka songs by Srila Rupa Goswami. But where are they? Krishna Namashtaka. There it is. Namashtaka. Okay. So, Narad Muni Bhajai. Okay, so Narad Vino Jivana. O life of Narad's Vina. O you who are like waves of essential nectar in the ocean of sweetness. Where does it say ocean though? Madhuri Pura. Pura doesn't mean ocean. Anyways, Oh, you who are like waves. You're urmi, waves of niryas means the essence of nectar, sudha, in the ocean of sweetness, madhuri pura. Okay. Yeah, I just don't know about that word of ocean. Then Tvam Krishna Nama Kamam Spurame Rasane Rasena Sada. Oh Krishna Nam, Tvam, you. Oh you, Krishna Nam, Kamam. I guess Kamam here means of your own desire. Spurame, manifest, and then me is my. Rasane, tongue on the tongue. Rasena Sada, with ras. Right? Rasena would be with ras. Sada always. I don't know. Let's look at the song that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote here. Narad Muni Bajai Vina Radhika Ramana Name. So Narad Muni, he plays on his Veena. Radhika Ramana Name. The names of Radhika Raman. Namayamani Udita Hoy Bhakata Gita Same. And then the name Amani, Emni means just like that. In Hindi, it'd be Aise. It just like that, it udita hoy, it arises, it appears in the midst of the devotees singing. Bhakata Gita Sami, in the midst of the devotees singing. Okay. Amiya Dhara. So when the dhara, when the currents, when the flow of Amiya, of nectar, Varishe Ghana, when that showers, like here he wrote streams, huh? Varishe Ghana, profusely, Ghana. Oh, 1 second. Um, 1 second. Snuggle Paul is messaging me. Let me just send him a quick message. Hey, is it starting early? Sorry, 1 second, guys. Guys, I might need to go right now. Yeah, sorry. Okay. I was supposed there's a meeting, and I thought it was supposed to be starting at 8:30 a.m. India time, and it's 7:45. But this is actually a really important meeting. Like it's very important. And so I gotta jump off right now. So we'll go through this more carefully, and maybe actually I could read it on my own a bit, and then I'll be able to explain this verse. Uh, yeah, these verses by Rupa Goswami better. Sorry, guys. All right, Haribol. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. I'm just gonna quickly jump off because they're waiting for me. Okay, Haribol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Jai Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Jai Bhajana-rahasya ki jai. Shri Krishna Nam Sankirtan ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanand.